Zohran Mamdani's projected victory as New York City's first Muslim and South Asian mayor is more than a political win. It's a cultural earthquake in one of the most diverse cities on earth, a moment that carries emotional weight for communities who have long felt invisible, overlooked, or misrepresented in American politics. And now, as the Democratic candidate stands on the verge of history, New York finds itself at the center of a national conversation about identity, inclusion, and the evolution of political power in modern America, a city that has seen everything, yet continues to redefine what progress truly looks like. Born in Uganda to Indian parents, Mamdani's story is deeply interwoven with the immigrant experience. His family moved to the United States when he was 7, he became a naturalized citizen in 2018, and from there, his journey into public service captured both the hope and frustration of a new generation seeking representation that feels real, not symbolic. For decades, South Asians and Arab Muslims in the United States, many of whom arrived after 1965, were rarely seen as an influential voting bloc, often detached from political activism, underrepresented in polling, and largely missing from major campaign outreach efforts. But Mamdani's rapid rise through New York politics has disrupted that norm. His campaign ignited enthusiasm at an unprecedented scale, with South Asian voter turnout in the 2025 NYC primary increasing by nearly 40% compared to 2021, according to research firm L2, proving that identity-driven mobilization, when grounded in genuine community engagement, can shift political landscapes. This surge wasn't just about ethnicity or religion, it was about recognition, about people who once believed their voices didn't matter, finally realizing that political power isn't inherited, it's built. Asif Mahmood, a Democratic fundraiser who once supported Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, summed it up by saying that Mamdani's victory shows every immigrant, Muslim and South Asian, that they too have a place in this country, a belief long suppressed by decades of underrepresentation and systemic doubt. For the South Asian diaspora, especially in a post-9/11 America that has struggled with waves of Islamophobia and cultural misperception, Mamdani's success feels like reclamation, the rewriting of a narrative that for too long associated brown and Muslim identities with suspicion instead of strength. The symbolism is even more powerful considering that the mayoral seat he's about to occupy presides over the same city that bore the brunt of the 9/11 attacks, a city that has wrestled with both grief and bias since that tragic day. Mamdani's campaign didn't shy away from confronting that history, accusing his opponent, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, of Islamophobic undertones in his comments about 9/11, an accusation Cuomo denied, calling it divisive and politically opportunistic. Yet the controversy only fueled more energy around Mamdani's candidacy, with voters interpreting Cuomo's rhetoric as proof of the very prejudice they were rallying against. Democratic strategist Raza Ahmed Rumi pointed out that Mamdani's appeal cuts across racial and religious lines, gaining support from white and Jewish youth, signaling a generational shift in how New York defines leadership. The excitement wasn't limited to the South Asian community either. Artist Viswajit Singh noted that the excitement to vote is real, even beyond the South Asian community, suggesting that Mamdani's story resonates with anyone who's ever felt excluded from the traditional political structure. His supporters say this movement has awakened something powerful, a sense of belonging and pride denied for generations. And even those outside the U.S., like Dr. Naomi Green from the Muslim Council of Britain, have described Mamdani's victory as proof that voters value justice and inclusion over prejudice. It mirrors London's own milestone from 2016, when Sadiq Khan became the city's first Muslim mayor, signaling a broader global pattern of minority representation taking root in Western democracies. But while the celebrations are loud, so are the criticisms. Mamdani's campaign has faced pushback from multiple directions, some within the South Asian community, others from political and religious groups wary of his policies or past statements. Former Governor Cuomo even launched a South Asians for Cuomo coalition, showing that identity alone doesn't guarantee loyalty. The Indian community, often politically diverse, has been split. Some see Mamdani as too progressive, others accuse him of being anti-Hindu due to his past comments about Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, an accusation Mamdani's team rejects, emphasizing that his mother is Hindu and that his values are rooted in unity, not division. Community leader Fahad Suleiman from the Jackson Heights Bangladeshi Business Development Association voiced skepticism about Mamdani's policy promises, calling them unrealistic and warning that leadership requires more than ambition. Over 1,000 rabbis nationwide also signed a letter criticizing Mamdani's comments on Israel, revealing the deep sensitivities surrounding his stance on global political issues. These controversies highlight the balancing act facing any leader trying to bridge multiple identities in a hyper-polarized era, to be both authentic to one's roots and pragmatic in governance. Yet Mamdani supporters argue that his success was never about promising miracles. It was about restoring faith in democracy by making people believe that their stories matter. His victory also comes at a time when support for Democrats among Indian Americans and Muslims is declining. Data from the Carnegie Endowment and Pew Research Center show fewer Indian Americans and Muslims identifying as Democrats from past years, meaning Mamdani's triumph defies national trends. It's not just symbolic, it's strategic, a blueprint for how inclusive politics can win in an age of division. In conversations with ABC News, Mahmoud was clear. Mamdani isn't running to be the Muslim mayor, he's running to be a good mayor who happens to be Muslim, a crucial distinction that separates representation from tokenism. That nuance matters, especially when identity politics can often overshadow performance. To many, Mamdani embodies the generational shift where young, diverse Americans are demanding more accountability from political institutions while refusing to separate their personal identity from their public service. For South Asian children growing up in Queens, Brooklyn, or the Bronx, his win is a tangible reminder that leadership doesn't have to look a certain way, that accents, skin color, or religion are not barriers, but parts of the broader American story. The enthusiasm in the streets of Jackson Heights, Richmond Hill, and Jamaica reflects a collective realization that democracy is not passive, it's participatory, and for once, it feels accessible. But Mamdani's real challenge begins now. Turning symbolic victory into systemic change is never easy. The same communities that elevated him to power will expect results: affordable housing, fair policing, small business reform, and a more inclusive civic structure. If he fails to deliver, the skepticism voiced by leaders like Suleiman may grow louder. Yet for the moment, his victory stands as a powerful message that representation can heal divisions more effectively than rhetoric. Across the nation, from California to New Jersey, South Asians and Muslims are seeing this election as proof that civic engagement works. It's no longer about waiting for inclusion, it's about demanding it. Mamdani's campaign may be rooted in local politics, but its echo is national, a call to action for every underrepresented community to show up, speak out, and claim space in America's evolving democracy. His journey from Uganda to City Hall captures what this country at its best can offer: the chance to transform difference into leadership, adversity into strength, and hope into history. Whether you agree with his politics or not, the fact remains that New York City, a place that has long been both the symbol and battleground of America's multicultural identity, is about to be led by a man who reflects its true diversity. And in a time when fear and division still linger, that in itself is historic. Mamdani's rise proves that belonging in America isn't granted by power, it's earned through persistence, participation, and courage. And for millions watching around the world, that's the message that will outlast the election.